A new NASCAR season is quickly approaching, and it has many fans and much anticipation. A new car in the Cup Series, what looks to be another extremely tight and competitive Xfinity Series season, and another very young roster for the Truck Series, and lots more. Of course, it continues to have the annual beginning, being Daytona Speed Weeks. Yes, obviously the Clash is now going to be in the middle of a freaking stadium in Los Angeles, out of all things and places. So you could say it's just Daytona Speed Week now, but that doesn't mean the hype for Daytona isn't still a thing. And there's still a thing called history. With all that being said, I introduce to you the Hype to Daytona ride, where today and within the next 2 weekends, there will be a set of videos that will feature retrospectives going back in time to some of the more notable moments and times in Daytona Speed Week's history. One will rely on close perfection, one will rely on chaos, and one will rely on somewhat of a half curse, if that's a way to put it. Now, here we go with part 1. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Junebug, the most popular driver in NASCAR history. The Pied Piper of Daytona, now Hall of Famer, just inducted this past weekend. Those are all things that describe Dale Jr. in the NASCAR community. His runs at Daytona in particular are what most people usually refer to with him. The first couple of seasons in his Cup Series career were very bumpy after coming off 2 straight Busch Series championships. Finished 13th in his first career Daytona 500 in 2000, along with scoring his first career win at Texas and to win at the Winston All-Star race. Then having to deal with taking on the torch of the Earnhardt name in 2001 after his father passed away in a crash right behind him on the final lap of the Daytona 500. The 2002 season was a massive slump as he only finished 11th in the standings and had just a Talladega sweep to his credit while dealing with a concussion. Heading to the 2003 season, which would ultimately be his best one points position-wise, the number 8 Budweiser DEI team took off like a rocket as Speed Weeks began, scoring wins in the Bud Shootout, his respective Gatorade 125 Dual race, and the Busch Series race. Unfortunately, car issues and a failure of redemption at the hands of Mother Nature put him in 36th place in the Daytona 500. His relationship with DEI would begin to collapse within the next couple of years. With inconsistent finishes, blown engines, 2 points finishes outside the top 15, and tempered contract negotiations with the devil. With stepmother Teresa Earnhardt. Looking to start off on a fresh note for the 2008 Sprint Cup Series season, in the course of a single month, Jr. announced his departure from the team his father had built, and his arrival to Hendrick Motorsports, the most elite team in NASCAR at the time, driving the number 88 National Guard Chevrolet. Just take a listen to their 2008 roster. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Mears, and him, 2 champions, a semi-veteran underdog, and the most popular driver in the sport. This couldn't get any better for Junebug. Although Jr.'s early tenure with Hendrick Motorsports is most widely known for his long winless streak and a ton of inconsistent finishes, it seems as though nobody remembers Daytona Speed Weeks in 2008. That year, Jr. got off to a pretty good start for being with a new team, and during Speed Weeks, he almost perfected Daytona for the second time in his career. This is the time when Dale Earnhardt Jr. nearly perfected his start with Hendrick Motorsports. Beginning with the Bud Shootout in the brand new car Tomorrow, Jr. started in 7th place, and right off the bat he was inside the top 5. On lap 6, he would go for the lead, and ironically enough, the next couple of laps saw a fight for the lead between him and former DEI teammate Michael Waltrip.
So it can go backward in a hurry when you get up in there.
Junior to the bottom. There he comes, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Junior Nation. Now we'll be seeing the sea of green waving in the grandstands. Dave Blaney helped propel Earnhardt Jr. to the front.
Well, you can bet one thing, and I know that Junior doesn't really feel all this way, but he wanted to get by that 8 car, if he possibly could.
Crowd loves it. Junior, by inches, led that lap.
Junior continued to remain at the front for pretty much the entire race, fighting for the lead with multiple other drivers. A late restart with 4 laps remaining put him in 2nd place against Tony Stewart, and it was quite a fight to the end with 2 of his teammates right behind him.
Oh, there's somebody else back there that almost wrecked.
Sorensen in the 41.
I mean,
might
they
have got
are
a piece of the wall.
Banging on each other.
He got a hit from Casey Mears.
Look at Jeff Gordon going backwards. He got in the wrong line.
It'll be a lap to go.
Here comes the 11.
Earnhardt Nation up front.
Here they come, boys. White flag. 1 lap to go.
Yippee! This is all right. I love it.
It's the bell lap. And they're 3, almost 4 wide in the back.
By 1 there, side by side behind them still.
Side, protect the bottom.
Now is that yellow line your best friend?
It is now. It is now.
Because you can't pass below it, but that outside line, they're getting a run. Here comes Johnson to the high side.
And Earnhardt comes up to block. That opens the bottom for Stewart. And the 30th Budweiser shootout goes to the National Guard Impala, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. Bank it, baby. Bank it.
Just like in 2003, Junior had to fight for it at the end, and he got the job done. Next up was single car qualifying for the Daytona 500, which he hadn't gotten a pole for yet in his career at the time. In the end, Junior put himself in 15th place with a time of 48.523 seconds, as teammate Jimmy Johnson claimed the pole and Michael Waltrip claimed second. He would be placed in the first of 2 Gatorade 150 duel races with teammate Casey Mears, starting from the back of the pack and remaining there for a while. However, it didn't take long for things to escalate at the front.
Well, we got a car in trouble. That's Brian Vickers in the 83 car off turn 2.
Caution waves. Brian Vickers was that car that was 3 wide, way up top.
Get it going there.
Coming out of turn number 2. And Larry, there just wasn't enough room.
The next 50 laps went caution-free as Junior worked his way up to the front, and by lap 17 he was back in the lead after passing former teammate Martin Truex Jr.
Good luck Sunday, Kurt.
In the Budweiser shootout, when Dale Earnhardt Jr. took the lead, we were accused on some websites of turning up the volume around the grandstand. That was not us. Freddie Aldis did not slide that pot up. That's the fans coming to their feet and making the noise for Dale Jr. That was not enhanced audio.
He remained in that position throughout the rest of the race until a caution with 6 laps to go spiced things up, creating a 2-lap shootout to the end. And with the restart being a single file line, Junior didn't really need to challenge anyone by the white flag.
He can drive that race car now.
Hanging on to her.
What a comeback for Brian Vickers. He is in the final transfer spot. Remember, Nemechek can fall back on his speed and be in the 500.
Nemechek will not push the envelope because he don't want to get up there and pass Kenny Wallace. Nemechek's in the 500.
78-2 back.
I tell you what, I am shocked at. I know this is some good racing right in here, but those 2 cars up front have put a huge gap on everybody else and holding it.
Oh, 3 wide behind the leaders. It sorts out. And the second checkered flag for the Sprint Cup cars in Speed Weeks. Dale Earnhardt Jr. again.
Boy, Menard in the 15 got pushed all the way down on the apron.
Oh, he went down there. He had nowhere to go. He had to try to get by Kenny.
With a Bud shootout win and a Gatorade duel win just like in 2003, it looked as though a run for a perfect Daytona Speed Weeks was happening again. And with that, Junior would participate in the 120-lap Nationwide Series race on Saturday for his own team in the number 5 National Guard Chevrolet, looking to continue the pattern from 2003. He would have to work his way up from his qualifying position of 19th place, and also have to fight against other Cup Series drivers such as Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, and others. For the time being, he remained just outside the top 15 to calmly wait things out. A hard crash on lap 54 involving David Gilliland and Mark Green gave the race its first caution of the day, and after a few more debris cautions throughout the race, Junior was now inside the top 10. However, with 10 laps remaining, the big one finally struck coming off turn 4.
A little bit of a run, and he was able to clear the car there, so he got himself in position.
Whoa, Stephen Wallace off sideways in the corner, gets tagged by Casey Kane, Johnny Sauter, and Kevin Harvick are involved.
And we've got a lot more going on behind them, too. Yeah, this is just one of those chain reaction.
A 6-lap shootout would solve the ending of the race, and Junior was right there in the top 3, looking to find his way to the front. Unfortunately, he wouldn't get any good help, and Tony Stewart went on to win the race, while Kyle Busch finished 2nd and Junior finished 3rd. Although the pattern from 2003 wouldn't be an exact match in 2008, he shifted his focus to the Great American Race on Sunday, with the goal of scoring his 2nd career Daytona 500 win and perfecting his start with Hendrick Motorsports.
The Daytona 500 is sponsored by Subway, where Tony Stewart goes to fuel up. Subway, race hard, eat fresh.
Behind the front row of Johnson and Waltrip, Junior sat beside young phenom Denny Hamlin for the beginning of the 50th annual running of the Daytona 500.
In honor of 50 golden years of this great American race, reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
Biggity, biggity, biggity. Let's go racing, boys.
The race went 80 laps under green flag conditions as Junior remained in the top 5 for pretty much the entire time. After a quick debris caution, another long run saw Junior start from the middle of the field and eventually return to the top 5 by the halfway point. On lap 108, however, there was an extremely close call between him and Kurt Busch on the backstretch.
He has been trying to push his teammate, Matt Kenseth, to the lead, and he'll take it down the back straightaway. A Ford has not led. Look at Kurt Busch in the 2 car all the way into the infield grass.
Just need a long way to get going.
Oh, car 2 got into the back of Earnhardt Jr. Now, Denny Hamlin was right in the middle of that. Here's what he saw.
Still outside, still there.
Oh, that's what happened. Dale Jr. moved over, and here comes kind of bad timing.
There wouldn't be another caution until about 50 laps to go as another debris caution put the field back together. What happened for the remainder of the race was a streak of consistent incidents. None were big nor collected junior, but the average green flag run for the final 40 laps was just 3 with the exception of 1 run.
Oh, trouble off turn 4 here. We got a big one.
David Reagan hard into the wall in that AAA car.
We got about 5 or 6 cars that went down pit road, and I don't know, Matt Kenseth has some damage, but that's amazing if we only have 2 cars with damage.
Oh, there they go. Off of 2, off of 2.
Jimmy Johnson goes around Martin Truex. Johnson had been stuck in the middle coming by the start and finish line, what we call the sucker hole, and backing up.
Yeah. I love this
Oh,
shot.
Stewart.
Great shot.
Contact.
Oh, round goes.
There goes
Boyer.
Boyer. 7.
Hang on to it, just hold it. Nobody's down there with you. Go, turn left, turn left, let's go.
Caution.
All right, we'll be fine, we'll get some tires.
All Jeff Burton can do is protect the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, work hard in the wall.
Right in front of you.
It's the 5 car.
Casey Mears
He got a little tap going into 1.
up in the wall. Caution.
Dadgum.
Despite the number of late race cautions, the late shootout to the finish would end up keeping the race distance at its intended number. Junior had just 3 laps to make his way to the front from 5th place. The finish would end up becoming one of the greatest stories in Daytona 500 history. Sadly, it wasn't going to involve Junior, but rather another driver who's on a long winless streak, Ryan Newman.
Strap down this big TV. She's going to go for a ride.
Here we come, white flag, bail lap, 1 to go. Woohoo!
Stewart's got a great car, no question about that. It's just a matter of if Kurt can get a little help.
And
Now.
Ryan jumped to the high side. Tony Stewart blocks him. Here comes Kyle Busch on the bottom.
Uh-oh, Toyota drag race down the back. Toyota drag race.
Teammates.
Newman was trying to get help from the other blue Dodge. Now he's got it. Toyota on the inside lane. Dodge on the outside lane. Who's going to win it?
It's going to come all the way to the wire. Here they go into turn 3.
Teammates working together. 2018, 212. 12 is going to win this race. I don't believe they can catch him back to the line.
He's going to have to make it wide.
Pedal, baby,
He's going
pedal.
to have to make it wide.
It's the Boilermaker, Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman, Roger Penske win the Daytona 500.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Roger Penske's first restrictor plate win and his first 1-2 finish.
And done it in style, man. 1-2.
Hello, Newman.
With the help of Kurt Busch, Newman had shocked everyone by winning the Daytona 500. Junior would wind up finishing 9th, a fair start for his first run with a new team. And I should also mention that Junior plus his crew chief and Rick Hendrick faced penalties due to a rear spoiler violation from the Nationwide Series race. But regardless, it was a fantastic run and a terrific beginning at Hendrick Motorsports. After failing to finish at Fontana the next weekend, Junior went on a consistent run of finishes inside the top 5 and top 10, with some just outside. It wouldn't take until race 15 of 36 in Michigan for him to finally make it back into victory lane after 76 races of failing to win, leading 14 of 203 laps and using a late restart to score his 18th career Cup Series victory. Obviously, the rest of Junior's time with Hendrick Motorsports was filled with his disappointing finishes in the standings in 2009 and 2010, but redemption in 2012 with another win at Michigan turned things around, and he went on to score 7 wins between 2014 and 2017, including another Daytona 500 and 2 dual races, before calling quits after 2017 due to more concussion problems and wanting to spend more time with his family. Junior may have dealt with concussions and not won a single championship at the highest level, but his legacy and influence as one of the more popular and respectable drivers in the garage, along with his success on the superspeedways like Daytona, will forever be remembered, and it's great to see him now in the Hall of Fame as a 20-plus race winner in the Cup Series, a championship-winning team owner, and a commentator. Congratulations, Dale. We'll miss seeing you out on the racetrack. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this one. Got any thoughts? Leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and share this with your buddies. My name's Reegser, or Reeks for short. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.